Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest mistake you can make in life is sitting and waiting for something to happen. Too many people are waiting for a miracle when God has already given them the ability to create one. You were not designed to live by miracles. You were designed to live by principles. Miracles are God's emergency intervention, but principles are His daily guarantee. A miracle is God fixing something that is broken. A principle is God showing you how not to break it in the first place. Which one do you want? Some people keep asking for financial miracles, but they refuse to follow the principle of discipline and stewardship. Others pray for health miracles, but they ignore the principle of taking care of their body. Miracles should not be a lifestyle. They should be a last resort. The problem with many people today is that they're waiting for something to happen instead of making something happen. They are praying for miracles when God has already given them the ability to create success through discipline and obedience to His principles. A miracle is an interruption of the natural order. It is God stepping in to do what man cannot do. But miracles were never meant to be a lifestyle. They were meant to be a last resort. You cannot live every day depending on miracles when God has already placed within you everything you need to produce results. The reason many people struggle is that they are waiting for God to move when He is waiting for them to act. The children of Israel lived by miracles in the wilderness. Manna fell from heaven, water came from a rock, and their clothes never wore out. But that was a temporary arrangement. The moment they entered the promised land, the manna stopped. Why? Because now they had land to cultivate, resources to manage, and principles to follow. Miracles were for survival, but principles were for dominion. Many are praying for financial miracles, but heaven does not operate on emotions. It operates on principles. If you do not follow the principles of diligence, stewardship, and generosity, no amount of prayer will change your situation. A miracle may bring temporary relief, but principles guarantee lasting success. Some are asking God to heal their bodies while ignoring the principle of self-discipline in diet and exercise. Others are believing for breakthrough but refuse to develop their skills, expand their knowledge, or take responsibility for their growth. Miracles are not God's original plan for man. They are His mercy for those who fail to apply principles. The difference between a person who lives by miracles and one who lives by principles is that one is always in crisis mode, while the other is in control of their destiny. The person who depends on miracles is always waiting for something external to change their situation. They keep saying, one day God will do it, but God is saying, I already gave you the keys. When you follow the right principles, you do not need to pray for money. It comes as a result of value and discipline. You do not need to beg for success. It follows those who apply the laws of preparation, consistency, and integrity. The only people who constantly need miracles are those who refuse to follow the principles that guarantee results. If a farmer refuses to plant seeds, he will need a miracle at harvest time. But if he follows the principle of sowing and reaping, he does not have to worry about the future. Many people are praying for a harvest when they have not planted anything. They are waiting for promotion when they have not developed themselves. They are asking for a breakthrough when they refuse to take responsibility. The principle of growth says that whatever you nurture will expand. If you invest in your mind, your knowledge will increase. If you invest in relationships, your influence will grow. If you invest in your work, your results will multiply. You do not need a miracle. You need to apply the principle. You need to apply the principle. The Bible is filled with stories of people who experienced miracles, but those who truly succeeded were those who mastered principles. Joseph did not rise to power through miracles. He followed the principle of diligence, wisdom, and character. Daniel did not become influential through supernatural intervention alone. He disciplined himself, developed his gifts, and lived by principles. Jesus himself did not teach people to depend on miracles. He taught them the principles of the kingdom. The parables were not about waiting for divine intervention. They were about using wisdom, stewardship, and faithfulness to produce results. A person who understands principles will always have an advantage over one who only seeks miracles. A business person who applies the principles of value, patience, and service will always prosper, while one who prays for financial breakthroughs without strategy will remain in lack. A student who follows the principle of study and preparation will excel, while one who prays for wisdom without effort will fail. The kingdom of God is structured on laws, and those who master them will always rise above those who neglect them. It is time to stop waiting for what God has already placed within your reach. Miracles are for emergencies, but principles are for life. If you live by principles, you will never have to depend on miracles. One of the greatest misconceptions people have is expecting God to do what they are responsible for. They pray, they wait, they cry out for a miracle, yet nothing changes. Not because God is not listening, but because he has already given them the ability to change their situation. Heaven does not respond to laziness. God will never do what you can do yourself. He will not study for you. He will not make decisions for you. He will not take action for you. That is your responsibility. Many people are waiting on God, but God is waiting on them. They pray for doors to open, but never knock. They ask for opportunities, but never prepare. They want financial breakthroughs, but refuse to develop the discipline to manage what they already have. Prayer is not a substitute for action. Faith is not an excuse for irresponsibility. If you want a different outcome, you must change your approach. God gave Noah the plan for the ark, but Noah had to build it. He gave Joseph the wisdom to interpret dreams, but Joseph had to position himself. He gave David the ability to defeat Goliath, but David had to step onto the battlefield. Every great person in the Bible had to take responsibility for their destiny. They did not wait for miracles. They acted on divine principles. Some people pray for God to give them a job, but they refuse to develop skills, improve their attitude, or even apply. They expect favor, yet they do nothing to qualify themselves. The Bible says, faith without works is dead. That means belief without action is useless. If you truly have faith, it will show in your discipline, in your consistency, in your preparation. A student cannot pray for wisdom and refuse to study. A business person cannot ask for success and refuse to work hard. A person cannot pray for a strong marriage but refuse to invest in communication and love. God has already placed within you everything you need to succeed, but it is your responsibility to activate it. Seeds do not become trees just because they exist. They must be planted, watered, and nurtured. Your gifts will not grow on their own. You must develop them. Look at the parable of the talents. The master gave his servants resources, but it was up to them to multiply what they were given. The one who buried his talent and did nothing lost everything. Why? Because God does not reward laziness. He blesses those who take action, those who use what they have, those who apply wisdom and diligence. Stop waiting for God to do what he has commanded you to do. If you want financial stability, learn to budget, invest, and create value. If you want growth, read, learn, and develop new skills. If you want favor, walk in excellence and integrity. The doors you are waiting for will not open until you take action. The breakthroughs you are believing for will not come until you step out in faith and move. Too many people sit in church week after week shouting amen and hallelujah, but never changing their behavior. They hear sermons on success, yet they remain in failure. They hear teachings on leadership, yet they remain passive. They hear messages on purpose, yet they refuse to take the first step. Knowledge without application is wasted. Inspiration without action is useless. If you hear wisdom and do nothing with it, you are deceiving yourself. The Israelites stood before the Red Sea, crying out to God, and God said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? tell the people to move forward. In other words, stop praying and start acting. The miracle only happened when they moved. Some of you are waiting for God to part the sea in your life, but He is waiting for you to take the first step. The moment you move, the doors will open. The moment you act, the resources will come. The moment you decide, the opportunity will appear. Everything you need is already inside you. Stop waiting for a miracle and start applying principles. If you do what you can do, God will do what you cannot do. But until you take responsibility, nothing will change. Move, act, build, work, because God will never do what you can do yourself. Many people are waiting for a miracle when what they really need is to apply the right principles. They are crying out to God to change their situation, yet they refuse to follow the instructions that guarantee results. Miracles are not a substitute for obedience. You don't need a miracle. You need to apply the principle. A farmer does not pray for a harvest without planting seeds. He does not stand in his field crying for rain when he has not tilled the soil. He understands that growth is not accidental. It is intentional. He follows the principle of sowing and reaping. If he sows, he will reap. If he plants, he will harvest. This is how life works. You cannot expect results where you have not applied effort. Many people struggle financially not because they lack a miracle, but because they lack discipline. They spend everything they earn, live beyond their means, and then pray for divine provision. God is not obligated to fix what you refuse to manage. The principle of stewardship says that if you are faithful with little, you will be entrusted with more. That means if you handle what you have wisely, increase is inevitable. But if you are careless, no miracle will sustain you. A financial breakthrough is not the answer. Wisdom and responsibility are. Some are asking for healing when they refuse to apply the principle of taking care of their bodies. They ignore rest, abuse their health, eat irresponsibly, and then ask for a miracle. God designed the body to function according to laws. What you feed it, how you treat it, and the way you care for it determines your well-being. A miracle may intervene temporarily, but if you do not change your habits, you will return to the same problem. Others are praying for open doors, but the principle of preparation says that opportunity comes to those who are ready. Success does not come by chance. It comes by principle. You don't need a miracle to be promoted. You need to master excellence. You don't need supernatural intervention to be chosen. You need to develop competence. The world rewards those who sharpen their gifts, refine their abilities, and walk in diligence. Stop praying for success. Apply the principle, and success will come. The reason some people remain stuck is that they want God to work magic instead of working a process. But God does not operate on magic. He operates on laws. Every law in the natural world reflects a principle in the spiritual world. Gravity does not change because you pray. It remains constant. The law of seed time and harvest does not shift because you are desperate. It remains intact. Principles do not care about emotions. They work for anyone who applies them. Jesus did not just perform miracles. He taught principles. He did not tell people to wait for breakthroughs. He taught them how to produce results. The parables were filled with laws of productivity, responsibility, and faithfulness. The 5 wise virgins were ready, and they entered. The 5 foolish ones were unprepared, and they were left out. Not because of a lack of a miracle, but because they ignored the principle of preparation. If you want to change your life, stop looking for shortcuts. Apply the principles of discipline, consistency, and integrity. Stop waiting for a miracle and start making wise decisions. Stop blaming circumstances and start taking responsibility. Your future is not determined by luck. It is determined by the principles you apply daily. The real issue is not that God is not answering prayers. The issue is that people are ignoring wisdom. Miracles were never meant to replace work, effort, and obedience. They were meant to be divine interventions in moments of crisis. You don't need a miracle. You need to apply the principle. When you work the principle, the results are guaranteed. Too many people are sitting and waiting for opportunities to come to them, hoping that one day something will happen to change their lives. They are praying, wishing, and expecting a breakthrough, but they are doing nothing to position themselves. Opportunities do not come to those who wait. They come to those who create them. If you sit and wait, you will keep waiting. Life does not give you what you wish for. It gives you what you work for. Look at the world around you. Every great person you admire, every successful individual, every leader, innovator, or influencer, none of them sat down waiting for a miracle. They created opportunities where none existed. They did not wait for someone to hand them success. They built it with their own hands. The reason many people are stuck is not because they lack talent, intelligence, or favor. It is because they refuse to take action. God never created anyone to be passive. He gave you a mind to think, hands to work, and gifts to develop. If you are waiting for an opportunity, you are wasting time. Opportunities are not given to those who wait. They are given to those who prepare. Stop waiting for the right time. There is no perfect time. Stop waiting for someone to notice you. Work until they cannot ignore you. Stop waiting for the world to give you a chance. Create a door where there is none. Many people pray for open doors, but the question is, what will you do when the door opens? Are you prepared? Have you developed yourself? Have you built the skills, the discipline, and the excellence required to handle what you are asking for? Too many people want promotion, but they have not yet mastered responsibility. They want success, but they have not yet built character. They want influence, but they are not yet willing to serve. God will never give you something you are not prepared to handle. The Bible is filled with examples of people who created opportunities through faith and action. Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and locked in prison, yet he never waited for circumstances to favor him. He worked in every season, whether as a servant, a prisoner, or a leader. His excellence created opportunities. David did not wait for a position. He prepared himself in the fields, mastering his skill until his opportunity came. When Goliath appeared, he did not pray for someone else to step up. He seized the moment and took action. The moment you stop waiting and start moving, things will begin to shift. Some people spend years complaining that no one is giving them a chance, that life is unfair, that others have more opportunities. But the truth is, life rewards those who take initiative. Stop looking at what others have and start focusing on what you can build. If no one is hiring you, create your own business. If no one is recognizing your talent, sharpen your skills until they cannot ignore you. If no one is opening a door, kick it down with excellence, persistence, and faith. The principle is simple. Preparation meets opportunity. The world does not wait for you to get ready. It moves, and you must move with it. If you're always waiting for the right conditions, you will never begin. If you're waiting for everything to be perfect, you will never start. Opportunity belongs to those who step forward in faith, those who take risks, those who build, those who create. It is time to stop waiting. The job will not come to you, you must apply. The success will not find you, you must work for it. The promotion will not happen, you must earn it. Stop waiting for opportunities, create them. If you move, doors will open. If you take action, the right connections will come. If you step out in faith, resources will align. But until you move, nothing will happen. Many people dream of success, but very few are willing to embrace the process required to achieve it. They wish, they hope, they pray, but they refuse to commit to the discipline necessary for results. Success does not come through wishes, it comes through discipline. It is not about how much you desire something, it is about how much you are willing to sacrifice, how consistent you are willing to be, and how disciplined you are willing to become. Look at the most successful people in any area of life, whether in business, leadership, ministry, or personal development. The one thing they all have in common is not luck, not connections, not even talent. It is discipline. They wake up earlier, work harder, study more, practice longer, and push through when others quit. They are not controlled by feelings. They are driven by principles. They do not wait for motivation, they follow a schedule. They do not look for excuses, they find solutions. Success is a byproduct of discipline, not wishful thinking. Many people want financial freedom, but they refuse to follow the principle of financial discipline. They spend everything they earn, live beyond their means, and then pray for a breakthrough. But the truth is, money does not respond to prayer, it responds to management. If you do not control your spending, no amount of income will be enough. If you do not invest wisely, no miracle will rescue you from financial struggle. It is not about how much you make, it is about how disciplined you are with what you have. Some people want to be healthy, but they ignore the principle of discipline in diet and exercise. They pray for healing, but refuse to take care of their bodies. They ask for strength, but neglect the responsibility of rest and balance. You cannot mistreat your body and expect it to function at its best. God designed the body to respond to principles, not just prayers. If you want health, you must discipline yourself to make the right choices daily. Others desire spiritual growth, but they lack the discipline to seek God consistently. They want wisdom, but refuse to spend time in the Word. They want power, but neglect prayer. They want divine direction, but are too distracted to listen. Spiritual growth is not automatic. It requires intentional discipline. You cannot become strong in faith without feeding on the truth daily. You cannot develop intimacy with God without prioritizing time in His presence. The people who grow spiritually are not those who wish for it, but those who commit to it. Even in relationships, success follows discipline. Many want strong marriages, but are unwilling to invest in communication, love, and patience. They expect good relationships to happen naturally, but the truth is, healthy relationships are built, not wished for. If you are not disciplined in how you treat others, how you listen, how you serve, and how you give, your relationships will suffer. The principle applies everywhere. If you neglect what you want to grow, it will die. Success is not about big, dramatic moments. It is about small, consistent choices. It is about doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It is about showing up every day even when you don't feel like it. It is about training yourself to act on principles, not emotions. Champions are not made in the spotlight. They are made in the secret place of discipline. The harvest you reap tomorrow is determined by the seeds of discipline you plant today. If you look at your life and you are not where you want to be, ask yourself, have you truly committed to discipline? Are you consistent in your efforts? Or are you only motivated when it's convenient? Do you stay focused when things get tough? Or do you quit at the first sign of resistance? Your success is not determined by luck, by miracles, or by other people. It is determined by your willingness to be disciplined. Stop waiting for an easy path. Stop looking for shortcuts. If you want success, embrace the discipline that produces it. Be consistent, be faithful, be diligent. Do what you must do, even when it's hard. Because success follows discipline, not wishful thinking. Too many people live their lives trapped in fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. They hesitate, second-guess themselves, and remain stuck, waiting for a moment when all fear disappears. but that moment will never come. Fear is not something you wait to conquer before you move. It is something you conquer by moving. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. If you wait until you feel ready, you will never start. If you wait until fear disappears, you will never act. Every great leader, every successful person, every world changer you admire has had to face fear and push through it. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not that one group has no fear and the other does. It is that those who succeed refuse to let fear stop them. They move while afraid. They act while uncertain. They take risks despite not knowing the outcome. Look at the story of Peter walking on water. When he saw Jesus, he was afraid, but he made a decision to step out of the boat. The miracle didn't happen while he was sitting in safety. It happened when he moved in faith. Yes, he began to sink when he looked at the wind and the waves, but at least he walked. The others stayed in the boat, paralyzed by fear. It is better to step out and stumble than to stay stuck in a place of fear. Some people are waiting for a guarantee before they act. They want to know that everything will work out perfectly before they take the first step. But life does not work that way. The greatest opportunities often come wrapped in uncertainty. The best decisions usually require a leap of faith. If you demand complete clarity before you move, you will never do anything significant. Fear is a liar. It will convince you that you are not good enough, that you will fail, that people will laugh at you, that you don't have what it takes. But the truth is, everything you need is already inside you. The only thing standing between you and your next level is your willingness to act despite the fear. Think about David facing Goliath. Everyone else was afraid. They looked at the giant and ran. But David saw the same giant and decided, I may not be the biggest, I may not have the strongest armor, but I refuse to let fear stop me. He ran toward Goliath while others hid. And because he moved in faith, the victory was his. How many opportunities have you missed because of fear? How many doors could have opened if you had only knocked? How many dreams have you allowed to die because you were too afraid to take the first step? Fear has robbed too many people of their destiny, not because it had real power, but because they allowed it to paralyze them. The only way to defeat fear is to move forward despite it. Fear will always be present when you step into something new. The fear of starting a business, the fear of speaking in public, the fear of making a life-changing decision, the fear of stepping into leadership. But the difference between those who rise and those who shrink back is simple. Some let fear control them while others control their fear. They feel the fear, but move anyway. They acknowledge their doubts, but refuse to be ruled by them. They act, and because they act, fear loses its grip. God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That means fear is not from Him, and if it is not from Him, you have no business holding on to it. The next time fear tells you, you can't, answer back and say, watch me. The next time fear tells you to wait, respond, I move now. The next time fear tells you to stay in the boat, step out onto the water. Your future is on the other side of fear. Your breakthrough is waiting for you to move. The moment you decide to take action despite fear, chains will break, doors will open, and what seemed impossible will become reality. Do it afraid, but do it. Many people sit and wait for life to change. They pray, they hope, they dream, but they do not act. They believe that one day things will turn around on their own, that success will come knocking at their door, that opportunities will magically appear. But life does not work that way. Change does not happen by chance, it happens by choice. If you want your life to change, you must change. If you want different results, you must make different decisions. Look at the world around you. Nothing grows without a shift. Seasons change. Trees shed their leaves. Caterpillars transform into butterflies. Everything in nature follows a process of transition. Yet some people want new beginnings without letting go of old habits. They want to move forward while holding on to what keeps them stuck. But the truth is, you cannot step into a new season with an old mindset. You cannot become who you are meant to be while clinging to who you used to be. Some people stay in the same place for years, not because they lack potential, but because they refuse to embrace change. They fear discomfort, they resist growth, and they settle for what is familiar. But growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you are serious about changing your life, you must be willing to step into the unknown, to take risks, to break free from the patterns that no longer serve you. One of the greatest tragedies in life is to remain the same year after year, never growing, never evolving, never reaching your full potential. Imagine looking back 10 years from now and realizing that you are in the same position, facing the same struggles, making the same excuses. That is not how you were designed to live. You were created for progress, for expansion, for impact. You were not meant to stay in the same place forever. Many people blame their circumstances for their lack of progress. They say, if only I had more money, if only I had better opportunities, if only someone would help me. But the truth is, your circumstances do not determine your future. Your choices do. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to rise above challenges. You can choose to develop yourself. You can choose to move forward no matter what obstacles stand in your way. Think about the story of the prodigal son. He found himself in a pit, feeding pigs, living in misery. But his life did not change until he made a decision. The Bible says he came to himself. He had a moment of realization, a moment of awakening. He said, I will arise and go to my father. That was the turning point. Not a miracle, not luck, not someone rescuing him. His life changed because he made a decision. Change begins the moment you decide that where you are is not where you will stay. Some people are waiting for God to move when God is waiting for them to take action. They ask for signs, confirmations, and assurances before they move forward. But faith does not work that way. Faith is action. Faith is stepping out when nothing is certain. Faith is making a move before you see the outcome. If you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you will wait forever. The best time to change is now. The best moment to act is now. You must be willing to let go of the old to embrace the new. Let go of limiting beliefs. Let go of toxic environments. Let go of the excuses that have kept you stuck. The life you want is on the other side of your willingness to change. Stop talking about what you will do one day. Stop waiting for the right moment. Stop delaying your own progress. Change is a choice, and the choice is yours. Your future is in your hands. Your destiny is waiting on your decision. The moment you make up your mind to change, everything around you will begin to shift. Opportunities will appear, doors will open, and what seemed impossible will become possible. But it all starts with one decision. Choose to change. Choose to grow. Choose to step into the life you were meant to live. Life does not reward those who wait for miracles. It rewards those who take action. You cannot sit back hoping for things to change while refusing to move. Opportunities are created, not given. Success follows discipline, not wishful thinking. Fear is conquered by stepping forward, not by waiting for it to disappear. And lasting change happens when you make the choice to grow, to evolve, and to take responsibility for your future. Everything you need is already inside you. The strength, the wisdom, the potential, it is all there waiting for you to activate it. But nothing will happen until you decide to move. Stop waiting. Stop delaying. Step out in faith. Embrace discipline. Conquer fear and make the decision to change. Because when you do, doors will open, breakthroughs will come, and what once seemed impossible will become your reality. Your future is in your hands. It's time to rise, take action, and walk boldly into your destiny. Good luck and thank you.